Hello, everyone. I'm Ron Garrett, your host on the Vegas Pulse. Stories from back of the house. Now, the back of the house is all the people that work that you don't see. That's why they call it the back of the house.
Right.
Or those of us who know what's going on in the back of the house. And one of the primary guys who can help us with some of that is my good friend. They call him the Don of Vinyl. He has got the largest vinyl collection of 45s.
45s albums, yeah.
Albums in the world. And that's why they
pretty
call him
close,
the
yeah.
Don of Vinyl. He's the CEO of Street Corner Records and Entertainment. He's been around a while. We all love him. He's Stevie Dunham.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
Stevie, you're a great story, my friend.
Well, that's what they say. I mean, I've been around. I mean, I've seen and done a lot of stuff. It's stuff that was privileged to see that I probably shouldn't have seen outside of
You can't
the
tell us
entertainment.
about any of that, the
I
things
can
you
tell
shouldn't
a
have
few-
seen, you know?
I can say a few things I can, but I got to keep some certain names on the down low.
Well, you got to wait for him to die.
Well, a lot of them I still do. Yes, yes. I was a part of that fraternity. I'll admit
Everybody
that.
says, Ron, write a book. I said, not yet.
Yeah, that's the same with me. I can't just write a book and name names. I have to wait for those people to go.
You do.
Unfortunately.
So you're
Otherwise, I'll
from
get
Brooklyn.
killed.
You're from the
Yes,
streets of Brooklyn.
I am from Brooklyn, New York.
And when
originally.
you were a young kid growing up, you got into the doo-wop sound.
It was around 1977. My two cousins and two neighborhood kids. We lived in Brooklyn Heights on Pacific Street. We were listening to Norman Knight's WCBS oldie show on Sundays, listening to all these great group records growing up, and our parents and everybody. But everybody tuned into CBS FM on Sundays in New York. And so we decided we'd just go out one day and try it out and sing some harmony. It seemed to gel, and we got a little bit better as time moved along. We got actually pretty good. We never made a record or nothing, but we got really good. And it was, even in that late of era in the late 70s, it was still prevalent to go into inner city boroughs and see people singing on street corners still.
And they really had the oil
Yes, they
barrels
did.
with the flame coming out.
Yes.
Now,
they
we
did.
see that in movies.
That's actually true.
But is that true?
That is an absolutely true fact. Yes. Or
What was in the barrel? Would you burn wood or
burn
kerosene?
wood, garbage, newspapers, you name it, and we had a brown bag with a bottle in it,
Or
passing
the
around.
the policy slips might have gone into that.
Yeah,
barrel.
right, exactly, right, yeah.
Were you guys running numbers back in those days?
When I was 11 years old, so
Well,
no.
listen,
But I know
there's a lot-
guys that did. My
Absolutely.
cousins were involved in a gang, and they were doing errands for
You're running
the Cosa
numbers.
Nostra guys.
which is Keno.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Keno.
Yeah, we, basically that particular counterculture, which I parallel to it. I mean, we created a lot of that stuff, so, I mean, that's prevalent in Las Vegas casinos today. Keno is
It is.
basically
It's amazing,
policy, it is. And so it's, we came out here a lot of times when I was growing up as a kid. And I
You started visiting Las Vegas
about
in the
8, 9
70s.
years, 8, 9 years old, I guess, would be good.
In the 70s. You were born in
Yeah.
1968.
Yeah, I saw
Same
a lot
son,
of
same
things.
age as my son. He was also born.
We always stayed at the
in
dunes
1968.
and never had a bill.
Why did you pick the Dunes?
My grandfather, one of his dear friends, was a very known character here.
Had anything to do with Maurice Schenker and his crowd over there?
I think Jasper
and
knew him, but
Jasper?
yeah, I think he knew.
We
him
all know
pretty
who
good.
Jasper was.
Of course, the man with the you can get a loan in a flower shop with this guy over here, and a pizza joint guy.
Pizza and the flower shop.
You're right,
But
the
that's-
flower
he
shop. That was the
go-to guy.
hilarious thing. Yeah, I've been to both growing up, so I know.
Where'd he get the roses?
Right, exactly, right.
Jasper was the go-to guy.
He was a sweetheart of a man, a very low-key guy, smart, and just and very classy. And he ran a great business. Both of his businesses were very popular in the Valley back in the old days. And
The
it was-
70s was a great era.
It
here,
was.
And you were still a young man because, you were born in 68.
I mean, if things would have changed the climate, we could have actually
So when
lived
you
here.
came here as a kid and you looked around,
It was the greatest thing. It was like anything. It was like Disneyland. All the neon lights, all the glitter, the glamour, and then go to see shows. It was like living a dream. You couldn't believe it, and being that young of a kid to absorb all of that and meet people that that you see on TV every Sunday night, that you see
right.
for real,
For real.
And meet them too. I mean, that was amazing to me.
here was my introduction to Vegas. I was 13 years old. It was 1956.
Wow.
And my mother, my father, my brother, and I, we took a car trip from Great Neck, Long Island, where I was raised,
It's a long trip.
all the way across the country. We even stopped at the biggest ball of yarn
Oh yeah,
that
I
you
remember
see in
that.
the Chevy Chase movie.
Right, yeah.
There is such a thing, the world's
There is.
biggest ball of yarn. Oh my God! And also motels shaped like dinosaurs and
Right.
teepee tents.
Exactly, yeah.
But we
Yep.
drove out to Las Vegas, actually all the way to Cali. I went to Disneyland the second year it was open in
Yeah.
'56. It opened in '55. Anyway, we came to Vegas. We're going to come to Vegas. I'm 13 years old. We stayed at the Dunes where you stayed, but the tower had not been built yet.
Right, yeah.
And we sat around the pool and a two-story. It was like a motel then.
Right. Most of the hotels in Old Vegas back in the 50s, they were just one level
One level.
places. And
So we went to a show at the El Rancho Vegas.
oh, great.
It hadn't burnt down yet.
Right, yeah.
The stars of the show were Betty Grable and Harry James
Wow.
in the
great
showroom.
stuff.
I'm 13 years old,
That must have been
but
amazing.
all I could see was showgirls.
Absolutely.
All
I
I
get
could
it.
see was everywhere I looked, there's showgirls. So we leave, get in the car, and I told my mother, I said, I'm moving to Las Vegas. I'm 13.
What'd she say to that?
You're not moving to Las Vegas.
Yeah, that's pretty much
I
what I
did.
got to do later in life. Yeah,
I did.
get
That
it.
was 1956. I moved here in 1971. And I
came
haven't
here-
left.
I've been here since living here since 1993. I caught the tail end of a great
When
thing.
you got here in 93,
yeah.
how'd you set yourself up? What were you doing and what got you started?
Well, I just finished college and I just finished another problem in New York.
What college did you go
I
to?
went to Art Institute in Fort Lauderdale. I actually flew a shuttle plane from Fort Lauderdale up into New York and did studio work back and forth 2 or 3 days a week. And with the school in and around that, I made it sure it was in and around my classes, which is very difficult. But I was a very hardworking and determined young man, and I still am today. But it was just amazing. I got it hooked up with some people in that I back in the old
Did
school.
you get in a
type
little
things.
trouble?
I got in a lot of trouble.
Well, we're going to find out about
Yeah.
that right after we come back. We're going to break for commercial. We'll be right back with more of Stevie Dunham. What a great story. We'll be right back.